You know, I've been thinking a lot of stories here lately. Uh, there used to be, when we lived in Broad Creek Village, pre 1951, and there was a supermarket called Open Air Market. It was about 2 or 3 blocks down the highway, the main highway, Princess Anne Highway. And Mama sent me down there to get a loaf of bread, a dozen eggs, and there was something else, and I forget what it was. So I traipsed my butt down there, and got the eggs and the bread and whatever else it was. And there's a major intersection. The supermarket's on that corner. And I had to cross that road. But as I walked up to the road, there was a school bus come by and stopped, and there was a red light there. And there were some kids out looking out the window, you know, and hollering at me and stuff. And I always like to show off.
Am I out?
So I started pitching the loaf of bread up in the air and catching it and then squashing it like an accordion, and the kids was just laughing, having a big time. But I squashed that bread. But I didn't get in trouble for it. I'll tell you why in a minute. I throwed the eggs up, broke some. So the school bus left, and there were a couple of cars parked alongside of the road there, and I went in between 2 parked cars and run out in the street, and wouldn't you know it, I got hit by a car. The groceries went flying, and scared the pee-hunky doodles out of me. And I got up, left the groceries sitting on the street, and took off running. I didn't stop till I got to the house, and I was all out of breath. And I tell them, a car hit me. And the man that was driving the car, he got out, he picked the bag of groceries up, and then followed me to the house. And I didn't, when I run in the back door telling the car hit me, I didn't stop till I got to my bedroom and crawled under the bed. The man come up with the groceries. They was all damaged. Of course, I damaged them. And he went back to the grocery store and got the same new eggs and bread and stuff and brought them back to Mama. And he checked on me
14.
every week for about 6 months. He'd check on me, see if I was all right. And then after that, up to 1951,
Oh, that.
when we moved, you know, Mom and Daddy separated and everything, he was always checking.
What do you mean?
But one thing I learned, you don't go between parked cars and walk out in the street. It didn't hurt me, it just bumped me and I slid on my butt. I didn't even have any road rage. What do they call it? Yeah, I haven't seen your moment. Road rash. But I always got in trouble down there on that corner for some reason. One time Mama sent me to the store and I seen this pack of newspapers wrapped up in the wire. And I thought it was trash. They were heavy enough I couldn't pick them up. So I started rolling them. I don't know what I was going to do with them, but I started rolling them all the way to the house. Meanwhile, somebody seen me and they would watch me and where I went with them. Because unbeknownst to me, that's where they dropped off some newspapers for paper boys. That's where we went and picked them up and to deliver them. And it wasn't long after I got to the house, somebody come knocking on the door and said, "Your son stole my newspapers." I didn't know, I thought it was trash. "Your son stole my newspapers." I can't. One time, Mom and Daddy, they had a charge account down there at that supermarket. And I knew they charged stuff there. And there was this thing, a monkey, that you had a bouncing board and the monkey stood on it and you bounced the board and the monkey would dance.
Yeah!
And I just had to have one. I didn't have no money, but I got it. I charged it. And we used to go to that grocery store a lot. And then one time arrived that our family got banned from that supermarket. Why, you might ask? My dumbass daddy, he was drunk. And he went in there and decided to steal a big old country ham. Put it up under his shirt and everything. We watching this.
No way.
Look, it was so big, he looked like he was pregnant.
That's two.
But we got banned from that store. I don't know what in the world got Daddy's head to do that. Maybe he had larceny in his blood, I don't know. But we couldn't go back there anymore. Us kids couldn't even go in there. And that used to be, if I ever come across a nickel or a dime, that's where I always go to get my candy bars. I had to start getting my candy bars at the service station that was down right across from us. And that guy was a crook. that run that. I found a dollar bill one time, and that guy, I was showing him that and telling him I wanted all the candy bars I could get with that. And he said, "Let me see that." So he said, "This is not real." He said, "It's counterfeit." Well, I didn't know what counterfeit meant, but he said, "It's not real." And he rubbed it. And I didn't know. I don't know if you still can or not, but back then, you could rub a dollar bill with your finger like that on it, and some of the green ink would come off on your thumb. And he told me you can't spend that, and if you get caught with it, you'd be in big trouble. He said, "I can turn it in for you." And I didn't know who was going to turn it in to. But I give that son of a bitch that dollar bill.
Listen. I know a game.
My dreams of all the candy bars were gone. I could have got 23 Musketeer candy bars with that. And the man happens to be the father of my stepfather, or my mother's boyfriend she had on the side. Mama's boyfriend had a son. His name was Wayne. I used to play with him, because he'd be over at that service place station sometimes playing around there and stuff, and I'd go play with him. And later on, about 5 or 6 years ago, he found me on the internet, and we started talking a lot, about the things we used to do and everything. And he said, you know more about my dad than I do. He said, "I never saw my dad again after he took off with your mom." And I didn't know that. I thought he'd seen his dad. But he said, would you tell me stuff about him and everything, what he did and all that? And I started telling him the good stuff about him. And then I told him one time in an email, I said, "Wayne, do you want the truth?" I told him, "Your daddy was an asshole." I said, he sexually molested my sister when she was about 16 years old. And I didn't know that till just recently, when I was telling him that. And I still got a knot on my head, because he come up there and got in my face one day, and I was about 15, 14, and he was punching me in the head like that. Tell me, "I ain't gonna put up with this stuff no more. You hear me, boy?" He was just punching me in the head. And boy, I hauled off and cold-cocked him one time, and then took off running. And Mama picked up a frying pan and come after me. And on the back porch is a big porch. And she had clotheslines out there that she hung clothes out to dry. And there's a bunch of clothes and sheets and stuff there, and I was running all around in and out of the clothes. And she caught me and she hit me over the head. I still got a knot. Every once in a while, my wife would rub that knot and get so mad about Mama for doing that. But she hit me. I mean, boy, I probably had a concussion.
And if it's good, then
But he didn't punch me in the forehead no more. Matter of fact, I got out of there pretty soon after that. Went back to Daddy.
and it's pretty scary.
But
It's the
I wish I'd have known that he had sexually abused my sister when he was still alive.
be a monster.
I'd have given him, I'd have probably cold cocked him again. Man, some of my stories, and I told Michael and Joe about it,
Just no, not wait for that.
and they listened. They didn't say anything. But then somebody asked him, what was I talking about? And I said, oh, it's just some of Russell's stories. Like it wasn't truth. But I was the oldest out of the bunch, so I got more memory of what was going on than they do. I surely do.
Are you the monster? You might be the monster.
They don't remember much hardly anything about Mother's Day 1951 when Mama loaded us all up and dropped 3 of us off at Grandma and took off to Florida with her boyfriend.
this is me. This is me.
But back then, I sure missed my mama when she done that. I sure did. 10 years old. 10 years old. And Mama, she didn't want me. People wanted to adopt me and stuff. And Mama didn't want me, but she didn't want nobody else to have me either. It's almost like she hated me or something. I think a lot of that stuff back then
No, it's me. No, please.
was caused me to have a lot of problems because of that. I mean, just think about it. 10 years old and Mama is up and gone.
It's loud.
Left me with what I used to think was my mean aunts and uncles, but I ought to be thankful that they were taking care of me. But I'll tell you what, if you weren't one of them on the farm, they worked the shit out of you. Sure enough. Anyway, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'll see you in the next one. What did I just talk about? I done forgot what I just talked about in this video. I talked about Bob hitting me, or Bob punching me and Mama hitting me in the head. I done forgot. Okay, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. See you in the next one. See ya. GoPro, stop recording.